Hello and welcome to Fleetwood Area High School's election coverage of the 2016 presidential election. My name is Tristan Spanish. This period, our panel discussion will focus on the environment. Josh. There are 41 electoral college votes up for grabs as Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, South Dakota, North Dakota, Oregon, and Wyoming will be voting. The polls will officially close in Texas, Minnesota, Nebraska, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Kansas, and we have the results for those polls now. First up is Arkansas, represented by Ms. Hefner's sixth period class. Those six electoral votes have been awarded to Trump, with the final vote of 5-4. Trump will claim Louisiana and its 8 electoral votes. Mrs. Jarosinski's sixth period class has voted 8-3, placing the state firmly with Trump. Moving on, we have Ms. Rankin's sixth period voting at the state of Minnesota. Tiger TV is confident reporting its 10 electoral votes will go to Trump by a margin of 3. Ms. Nagel's sixth period represented Missouri went to Trump in a narrow victory. Nebraska's 5 electoral votes, decided by Mr. Carr's sixth period, go to Trump by a 7-6 margin of victory. Mr. Weiss's sixth period class voted at the state of Oklahoma. They voted 10-5 to give 7 electoral votes to Trump. Josh, teleprompter. Texas and its 38 electoral votes, represented by Mr. Kachanaz's sixth period, voted in favor of Trump by a margin of 10-9. Finally, faculty voting last period, represented by the state of Kansas, and its 6 electoral votes went to Clinton. With that, Tiger TV can officially report that Donald Trump has won the Fleetwood mock election, as he just hit 303 electoral votes, surpassing the 270 needed to clinch the presidency. As the rest of the polls close, these states will have results live as they are made available. Moving on to this period's panel discussion, just to review, each period will be welcoming 2 student experts who've done extensive research on the topic of the period. They are here for a conversation on real issues, and the points that they argue are not necessarily aligned with their own political views. This period's panelists are Alyssa Hall, representing the Clinton campaign, and Cole Chappelle, representing the Trump campaign. Thank you for coming in. So this period, we are talking about the environment. Let's get right into the questions. Back in April, President Obama signed the Paris Agreement to work towards a global reduction in greenhouse gases. Do you think the Paris Agreement will have positive effects in the future, and would you like our future president to continue signing board efforts like these? Alyssa?
All right. Well, I personally think that it is a good idea because greenhouse gases obviously reduce the air quality, and things like air pollution are responsible for about 40% of asthma sufferers, according to the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America. So obviously, that's pretty bad for you. There's also things like here in Berks County, there's a higher risk of getting cancer because of the lead plant and the things that left a detrimental effect on the environment of our area. So there's a higher risk of getting cancer here. So I think that having the Paris Agreement in place to help reduce greenhouse gases globally will help, because it's not just one country that's the problem. It's pretty much all first world countries.
Well, personally, I disagree with Donald Trump on this issue, but Donald Trump believes that global warming does not exist and that it is a hoax. So he does not believe that the Paris Agreement will do much of anything, but he does stress that clean air is necessary. We cannot just pollute the air and cause people to become sick because of the air pollution.
Alrighty. With that in mind, let's move on to renewable energy sources. There's been tremendous progress on what green energy sources over the past decade. Would you like our next president to support further research into renewable energies, looking towards eventually replacing our dependence on fossil fuels? Alyssa?
Well, Hillary plans to have enough renewable energy to power every house in America by this point in 10 years, and that's pretty good because right now fossil fuels are not only polluting the environment, but we're going to tremendous lengths to try to get them, like the Keystone Pipeline, and we're basically fighting all of the wars in Middle East just to get the fossil fuels that we want to power our cars. And I think that it'll take time and money to get all of the renewable energy that we can get, but it's worth it because we don't want to just fight wars for the rest of forever.
Full response?
Well, obviously, at some point, we're going to have to switch over to renewable energy because there is, in fact, a limited amount of fossil fuels on the planet. So Donald Trump does want to increase renewable energy. He wants to increase all energy. He doesn't want to switch over to renewable energy because that is going to take a lot of time and money to completely switch over to renewable energy. But he does want to grow renewable energy as it will be beneficial to the economy in general. The more energy, generally, the better off we are.
While we have made progress, I don't think the infrastructure is there for these renewable energies to fully replace our dependence on fossil fuels just yet. Is there something to be said for increasing our drilling of untapped resources, also providing funding to projects like the Keystone Pipeline to bring oil from the Arctic? Cole, we'll start with you this time.
Well, Donald Trump does want to drill in the Arctic and bring oil that way. But another one of his major points is that fracking technology needs to be improved because right now it's kind of dangerous and it's also rather undeveloped. So he wants to improve fracking because natural gas is the cleanest fossil fuel that there is. So he wants to increase our output of natural gas.
All right. Well, I think the Keystone Pipeline is a terrible idea. As of right now, in North Dakota, this is something that a lot of people are underinformed about, actually. It's displacing thousands of Native Americans from their natural lands where they've lived, like their tribe has lived basically since who knows when, it's been forever. And it's better to start budgeting money for these renewable resources because things like fracking, for instance, the technology isn't really there and it's causing horrible things. Like just earlier this week, I think it was Friday, actually, there was an earthquake in Oklahoma caused by fracking. That was like a 5.4 earthquake that was felt all the way out to like Chicago. And so things like this, it's just not worth it because with the Keystone Pipeline, what would happen if it just burst underground, because that's where it would be. And then we'd have all this natural fuel running into our soil and we'd have lots of very damaging effects from that. So it's not worth it. It's better to just start with renewable energy now so we have it in the future.
Alrighty, well thank you guys both for your time today. That brings our discussion to a close. Let's head back to Mina at the polls. Mina?
Thanks, Tristan. I'm here with senior Nick Crazley. Nick, Alabama exit polls show that it's a 50-50 split on whether they think that climate change was humanly impacted. What are your thoughts on this issue?
My thoughts on this issue, I really don't know why it was a 50 split. I would assume more people would pick man-made. Obviously, humans release a lot of greenhouse gases into the air by burning coal for fuel for their cars. I definitely think that's a huge issue within the U.S. And worldwide, for that matter. I definitely think that it is also man-made. You don't have enough historical data to really tell, and until that point, I think you'll never really know.
Thanks, Nick. Now we're going to kick it back to Tristan in the studio. Tristan?
Thank you, Mina. That just about wraps up this period's election coverage. At the end of period 7, Trump has won the Fleetwood mock election. Coming up next period, we'll have results from all 7 states voting this period, while another 6 states, Washington, Utah, Montana, California, Alaska, and Idaho, will be heading to the polls to cast their votes. We'll also welcome some familiar faces back to the studio to debate civil rights. That wraps up our coverage for period 7. I'm Tristan Spanin. We'll see you in 20.